The easiest, quickest, tastiest steak you'll ever make. Cue the intro. Look, we're making steaks. We're making it nice and simple. A steak is all about the quality of the meat. Don't be cheap. Get yourself decent quality meat. As you can see, these steaks have a nice fat cap. That means essentially it's got good marbling. Marbling will mean that your fat to meat ratio is even, and essentially fat is going to give you flavor. So fat equals flavor, which is why I'm the most flavorsome man on earth. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. Ask my kids, they'll tell you. I'm a big old fatty and I'm full of flavor. First thing we're going to put is salt. No steak is complete without a good amount of salt. Then pepper. Now remember, when you're salting and peppering your steaks, always go 15% more than you normally would. The reason being, a lot of your salt and pepper is going to stay on the pan. It's not going to be carried through into the steak. So you want to use a little bit of excess to kind of even it out. As you can see, my pan is heating up. It's getting nice and hot. On goes garlic powder. Same thing. We're just going to spread it evenly and make a nice crust and coat it. Once the sort of crust is ready, what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to cook is the fat cap. The fat cap is, the reason we cook that first is because you want the fat to cook. The fat takes the longest time to cook. So massage that baby, get it nice and evenly covered. Essentially your steak will almost be dry by the time you finish covering these things. So as you can see, it's pretty much prepped. First things first, get it ready, and time to put it on the hot pan, fat cap first. There you go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cook the fat cap for about 60 seconds. We're going to make sure it gets a nice even crust. You'll get a nice color. Clean your workbench in the meanwhile. As you can see, good boy. So these 60 seconds, you can see this color on the fat. Now you put it face down and you let it cook. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically cook it for about 60 seconds to 120 seconds. So anywhere between 1 to 2 minutes per side to give yourself a nice crust. Look at that. That's a beautiful crust. Yep. Flip it over, give a crust on the other side. It's not very complicated. It's just about being consistent and keeping your eye on the ball. Now we add in beautiful dollops of butter. Now butter is going to basically add in a little bit of moisture to the steaks. It's going to give you this richness. Some garlic cloves to flavor the butter. It goes perfectly with the garlic powder that we put on the steak. So not too worried about that. Now look at that. Your butter melts. It starts basting your steak from underneath while you get to baste the steak from the top. Give it a nice shake. Yeah, make sure she's evenly coated. Look, the best thing about any piece of meat is you have to take a lot of care. You take a little bit of care, she'll always be good to you. So now watch. We are going to flip these babies over. Ensure both sides get even buttering. Even buttering. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. And now we're going to baste. Get this garlic out of the way and just baste these babies. So that beautiful butter is just going to be used to pour over and make sure your steaks are nice and moist. Look at that. They're gleaming in the sunlight. Back on the pan, another 60 seconds. So remember, intervals of 60 seconds, keep flipping your steaks. As you keep flipping your steaks, also ensure you flip your garlic so that you get a nice evenly cooked piece of garlic. You don't want garlic that's burnt on the bottom but not cooked on top. That's horrible. And finally, all we have to do is rest our steaks. So you switch off your convection plate and you just let these babies rest. So while the butter is bubbling, it's gonna stop, it's gonna slow down, it's eventually gonna stop, and your steaks have rested. So all the fluid from the steak basically is reabsorbed by the steaks. You put it into on a chopping board. I was about to put it into a pan again. No, you put it on a chopping board and then adjust and cook. Now, this particular steak which I wanted to do is medium well. If you want to do it more towards your medium rare, you can. I chose to do a medium well just because it wasn't only for me, and the other person who was going to be eating this with me is not a fan of well rare, even though I believe that's the way steak should be. So medium well, nice and juicy. You can see the juices spilling out from the sides, and you're done. Enjoy your meal. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Unfiltered Mad Dad on YouTube and Instagram. I'll see you soon.